What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube with another edition of The Drive-In. The Drive-In is a segment on my YouTube channel where I talk about recent or fairly recent, within the last 6 months or so, movies that have come out, where I give my thoughts and review, and I talk about the movie. And Downrange is another in the series of Shudder movies that I watched. I told you guys before, I got the Joe Bob Briggs 24-hour marathon on Shudder, so I had a 1-week free trial, and I checked it out, and I watched several movies, and I've reviewed several movies. This video is not sponsored by Shudder. There are no affiliations here, so you're getting my full, unfettered, unbiased opinion here. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about Downrange. If you guys want to see my review of Better Watch Out or Mayhem, I've reviewed those. Those are also Shudder exclusive films. I've reviewed those on my channel previously, so go back and watch. I know I haven't been getting a ton of views with the drive-in segments recently, so if you guys want to leave me notes in the comments on stuff that I can review or do better to get more views and more feedback from you guys, I would appreciate that. But I want to talk to you guys today on the drive-in about a Shudder exclusive film that you can check out on Shudder now from 2017 called Downrange. This one has been getting a lot of feedback lately, so I wanted to talk about this. The director is Ryuhei Kitamura. I hope I didn't butcher that, Ryuhei. And written by Ryuhei Kitamura and Joey O'Brien. And this was starring Kelly Conair and Stephanie Pearson, and Rod Hernandez. Sorry, I'm trying to read my chicken scratch. But this is a film, and there will be spoilers about this film, so if you guys have not seen 2017's Downrange, pause this video, go check that out, and come back. There are spoilers in this video. Downrange is a film about a group of people that are carpooling to go to different areas. A girl's picking up people along the way, and they're traveling down a secluded road. Their car kind of gets sidetracked, and they get hunted down by a sniper. There's a sniper in the trees along this certain patch of road that is hunting every car and person that comes along his path, and is using them for target practice and stalking and picking them off one by one. So this is a pretty cool film. I actually really enjoyed this. Some of the things that I liked, I love anytime there are movies that have characters that are secluded. I love putting characters in small spaces. I love anytime there's like cabins or, offices, or anytime where there's not a lot of places to go and the terror is put into one place. There's a certain feel where the audience feel like they're pulled into the story whenever the characters are secluded. It ratchets up the tension, it ratchets up the environment, it showcases whatever your location is. I really enjoy stuff like that. This movie had you kind of hiding in plain sight. They were out in an open field with just miles and miles of field, but because this shooter was aiming at them from the trees, he was a sharpshooter, there really was no place to go. Even though you had open field, open world ahead of you, they were still stuck in this small location the whole time. So even though it was huge, it felt like a small sequestered place. And I also love one location movies. Again, it showcases the location, it showcases the characters, and it showcases the tension that they're stuck in. So that was kind of cool as well. The shooter was a really affluent sharpshooter. Basically, the car gets sidetracked and has to be shut down. The characters get out and they're stretching and everything, and they find out they're being shot at. So they have to hide behind. There's like one character hiding behind a little tree or a rock. There a couple other characters are hiding behind their car, and they're using the car as their bulletproof vest, so to speak. And so they're stuck in this very small radius the whole time. And so movies like this are very difficult to keep interesting for an hour and a half because, you have 4 or 5 characters in one little small space in one location. But this location was beautiful. The cinematography was nice. I got to talk real quick about the camera work. Having this meadow, this field, or I shouldn't call it a field, it was more of a deserted place, but really nice location. Really showed off the location. I like that a lot. The camera work was cool. They did a couple of drone shots. I know people didn't like the drone shots. I thought they were well done in this case to show the small radius of the characters. They did a couple of really cool focus shots on the shooter, who you couldn't really see because he had a mask on, and he was tucked in behind some trees. But they showed his eyes a couple of times. They showed the gun a couple of times. There were really cool shots on that. I really enjoyed, there was one shot where the guy was unscrewing a tire. He was taking a cap off of a tire, and the camera spun around like the tire. It was in a first person of the tire perspective. That was unique and cool. So I like that. Some of the negatives of this film, There was, I think, 6 characters in this, and 2 of them die right away. Right away, you see 2 characters go. So there's 4 characters left for the next hour and a half to interact. And you would think that would give a lot of opportunity for a lot of exposition and backstory and deep characters, but we didn't get a lot of character development in this movie. For characters that are kind of stuck with each other for an hour and a half in a small location, you don't get a lot of fleshed out characters. I don't even know the characters' names. I didn't bother to write them down because the acting wasn't superb. It wasn't bad in this movie. There wasn't like obviously blatantly bad acting, but it wasn't special either. I think there was one character that he was about to get married to the other girl, who I think was either pregnant or had a miscarriage. I didn't follow it quite closely on that, but 2 of the characters were together. One of the characters was heading to her sister or cousin's birthday party, so that was her big thing right there. She wanted to go see her family member and be at the party, and they sang happy birthday to her at some point. That was okay, and then one character was ex-military, so she was kind of quietly leading the way, trying to give commands out. So each character had a little bit of a backstory, but they didn't spend a lot of time on it, so you didn't really care that much when they got killed. That was one of the big negatives. But for another positive, the gore and the kills were pretty cool in this. Right away in the opening scene, one of the characters gets her eye shot out, gets a bullet right through her body, and you see a big hole, and the camera shoots through the hole. So a really cool shot there. Another character gets picked apart early, and they get in the car and they run over the guy's head. So that was pretty sweet. So the gore and the shots of the gore are done pretty well here. At one point, another car comes by, and the sharpshooter kind of takes them out as well, makes the car flip over, so we get a fire. That's pretty cool. One thing about the sharpshooter I didn't like was he was inconsistent. Sometimes he was shooting selfie sticks out of the hands. He was shooting them right in a certain part of the knee or the leg to stop them. He was shooting away like water. He put a hole in a water bottle from like 500 feet away or whatever he was. But then other times they were open in plain sight, just standing out there, and he was shooting around and missing them. So this sharpshooter was incredibly accurate sometimes and very inaccurate other times. So that was kind of inconsistent with the character. I didn't really care much for that. But in the end, there's a touching moment between the couple. The one girl dies. The guy goes out to put a blanket on her and kind of wants to die with her. So eventually we get down to one character. The cops come finally throughout. Another character calling them. The cops come. I'm kind of getting scattered here. But the cops die. The one girl, I think she gets away, I believe. I'm trying to think of the ending now. I can't recall the ending. That didn't stick with me as much on the ending. The guy gets shot, I think, and maybe okay, that's what happens. The killer comes down. The one really timid, scared girl shoots the killer, and then she sees on the back of his gun that he's marking down each body that he kills. He's keeping a tally on his gun of all the humans that he kills. And she sees that and gets angry and goes to shoot him again, and the gun backfires and shoots her. So through her rage, she actually meets her demise as well. So that's kind of a cool character quirk there. She comes out of her shell and gets angry and gets revenge and kills the killer, but then because of that anger, she overdoes it, goes for an extra shot after he's already dead, and it backfires and kills her. So that was kind of a cool ending. But again, you don't really get super invested in the characters. No one lives through this. There's no motives to why the killer does what he does. So in a way, that's kind of cool, but it's also kind of unfleshed out in there as well. So you get a mixed bag with this film. Again, shot nicely, good gore. It has that Shallows feel where you're kind of stuck in a small spot for a long time and you have to use your smarts to outwit the character, the killer. So that's cool. Again, for being in a one location, hour and a half film with 4 characters, they did a nice job being together. Kept it interesting, but again, for a movie like this, none of the characters stood out. So a lot of good, some bad in here as well. I'm going to give this overall a 6 out of 10. So above average, worth watching for sure, but the characters don't stand out, and there's a couple of inconsistencies with the characters that kind of leave you scratching your head. So a good movie, but not a great one. 6 out of 10. What did you guys think? If you saw Downrange, tell me in the comments down below. What else would you guys like me to review and do on this channel? And what do you want to see on the drive-in next? Until next time, guys, stay scared, dim the lights, lock your doors, enjoy the movies, and I will talk to you guys next time.